Hello and welcome to another episode of New Frontier Craft Playthrough Pre9. Now, I am recording this without looking at any video right now because it's quiet and I really want to talk about this. So, yeah, we'll continue on. So, I want to create a new ad for New Frontier Craft. This will be like the third one I've created. But the reason is the past two ads have been about the first one was about how I could recontinue old Minecraft, which wasn't that attractive, but it was kind of cool. Then the next one was I put all my heart in, and I made it like New Frontier Craft. Actually, I've made three now, haven't I? One was the one that you've probably seen that you got pointed to this channel, and shut up phone. It was basically advertising New Frontier Craft in general, how it was the answer to your nostalgia. Now, that is cool, but New Frontier Craft can't be that. I mean, it is a piece of New Frontier Craft now. It does play off the nostalgia, but it's not the main focus anymore. As I said, I had to sort of reverse the drive for New Frontier Craft from being my nostalgia to being my passion to create a really cool mod. In that process, I think it might really answer your nostalgia, but that's not its focus anymore. Its focus is to really sort of up the atmosphere of old Minecraft and be a new experience in old Minecraft. So, in a sense, one of the factors of New Frontier Craft now is being built on the philosophy of old Minecraft, but what it also does is takes the bigger and better things of other mods that have been created and putting them into this mod. For example, all those different ores. I got that idea off of Terra Firma Craft. That's not old Minecraft, but it definitely had a feeling like it because it fit in with the philosophy of old Minecraft. Now, if I just went over your heads, that's a good thing because I have been thinking a lot about this. Like, since New Frontier Craft has been created, but after the whole passion thing, it's gotten way more intense on how the philosophy of old Minecraft works, and that's what I'll be talking about today. Now, what I'm going to be discussing with you is if you agree, because I haven't really put this out too much, but after thinking a lot about this, because I do a lot of thinking about New Frontier Craft, I think I've got some basic and very strong philosophies of old Minecraft, and to give you the first and very strong example is the adventure is exploration over action. This is what modern Minecraft flipped around and why it sort of ruined that old feeling, because the adventure was in exploring. Now, I'm not saying modern Minecraft no longer has that anymore. It's just that's no longer its focus, just as action is not old Minecraft's focus, but there's definitely that in it. So, to give you an example, I remember the Super Hostile series back in the beta times was all about like exploring these crazy situations, exploring, and then you had to fight your way through it. Fighting came second. And then as it progressed into modern Minecraft, the levels, although they still looked cool, got insanely difficult by throwing so many mobs at you. It was action that was focused on. Now, that might have changed because I haven't looked at Super Hostile in a while, but I remember it was just about trying to survive the best you could against everything possible by fighting your way through it. Now, of course, yes, that was a component in beta, but it wasn't its focus. I remember so many times playing through those Super Hostile series, and the feeling of exploring these sudden, dark, like huge caves with different formations in it that I'd never seen before. It was the exploration feeling over fighting your way through it, because it wasn't that difficult, and I'm pretty sure he made sure it wasn't that difficult. But times change. And I gave one example there that really hit me in the old philosophy of old Minecraft back in those days, was the Super Hostile series. But just in Minecraft in general, the idea was to explore the world. Because there's cool formations, you could, build in it, caves, exploring. Now, of course, caves are still there, and action was mild in the caves, which I might be increasing a little bit just because we're more experienced. But nowadays, it's like all kinds of crazy stuff, like the Enderman. Is an anomaly, I guess I'll call it. I don't even know where it fits into any philosophy here, but I don't know. I guess caves wasn't the best example because they're about the same in modern. It's just sometimes you have those abandoned rail things and poisonous spiders. But to give you a better example is like the crazy things you can find in Nether now about like the Wither. I don't know if that's in the Nether or not, but I just know that that thing's crazy. And there's all kinds of there's formations in the Nether now, but they have all these new like mobs, and their AI is improved, so it's more about you figuring out how to do your action. And just the general image of modern Minecraft on like multiplayer has become people running around in diamond armor, sprinting around. There you go, action, sprinting. I mean, yes, I was thinking about that, but I wouldn't do it as fast or as easily as you can in modern. Because, you know, sprinting is realistic, but I think it was too fast in modern. And so is the hunger playing into the action. It was too fast. It made you have to eat a lot. Or, I mean, I remember it really kept me on my toes a little too much, to the point where it was sort of part of the action. And more part of the action with the FOV slider, which I won't be adding for a couple of reasons, but here's another reason is I think it kind of increased the action because now you could see all around you and all the action around you. And I also don't think that's realistic at all, the FOV slider. Now, of course, my goal is not for just New Frontier Craft be realistic, but I think it's sort of cheap in a sense too, and I don't know. I just don't think humans have the ability to change their field of view. And Minecraft was about you being sort of almost a human in the Minecraft world, which is sort of another thing where it's a sense of you being in the world as to a sense of you being a character in the world. I'll give you an example of this. I mean, when I first played Minecraft, it didn't feel like I was playing as a character in the world. I mean, I felt like it was me in a new world. And I think that's a very big philosophy of old Minecraft. As it progressed to modern, I mean, you started to have, like, magical abilities. And that didn't feel like it was me. It felt like it was more like I was a character in the world. Now, this is kind of a smaller one. That's not as big. Let's move on to a bigger one, which is balance over extremes. The terrain in old Minecraft was sort of a balance. You could have sort of flat and kind of just plain, sort of realistic area, and sometimes you'd suddenly come across a kind of cool section of oddly generated stuff, and sometimes you'd put your house in there. I mean, it was kind of realistic, and it was kind of, like, in a sense, I'd say fictional, but I don't know if I want to use that. Sort of a little bit exaggerated. It was kind of balanced. In modern Minecraft, I mean, the terrain, which they have improved, but for a while the terrain was really either crappy, or they added in something like the amplified terrain generator. That's not balanced, that's extreme. Sort of the philosophy of modern Minecraft is extremes, not necessarily balanced. Like, they're adding in bosses. That's a little extreme. I'd never expected in regular Minecraft would I be fighting a giant freaking dragon in the end, which there's not supposed to be an end to Minecraft. Along with the magic sort of plays into this, where you can, like, totally amplify your armor in extreme ways with magic, which doesn't make any sense to me why that would be in Minecraft. I mean, that just isn't compatible with old Minecraft being sort of you, being balanced. There's another piece of this that goes into this kind of concept that I'm still trying to form. And it's kind of like the world was sort of a realistic image of the real world, but still balanced to be a game, blocky. But it was sort of an abstract image of our real world if no one had edited it yet. And that's our job, is to build in it. I feel like that kind of changes a lot in Modern when you find random witches in swamps, Now, there's another concept I haven't totally built, and there's an opposite to this that they've added in Modern Minecraft, and maybe you can help me out here. And that is the concept of old Minecraft sort of being all about the atmosphere, and Modern being about, and this is what I might change, but I want to use the word intensity. Like, I remember in Modern Minecraft, things were a lot more intense, and you didn't really feel the atmosphere anymore. Like, the atmosphere could involve intensity, but Modern Minecraft really emphasizes the intensity and not the other aspects of the atmosphere. Like, I remember the atmosphere of old Minecraft, you could kick back and relax, you just got home from school, and it's just like, time to play some Minecraft. But in Modern, it's like Hunger Games. Go to Hunger Games, fight, action, And it kind of plays into the action where it's more about the intensity of everything. I mean, the new coloration of lighting makes it seem more intense. It's like an orange as to sort of a white, sort of a pale white, I might say. Like, it's a lot more relaxing in old Minecraft, part of the atmosphere, and I don't find Modern Minecraft to be that relaxing. Another part of the atmosphere was sort of you being alone and being scared. And this is kind of defeated when creative mode came around, along with, like, you have all these things you can do now, like enchant things. Like, again, it's like you're a strong character in the game, as to you in the game. But I think the sense of sort of fright, like the fright of being alone, that has totally disappeared from Modern. Because you got like villages in your world now. It's almost like another entity similar to you lives there, but they're peaceful and they're sort of on your side. Or like, I mean, I don't think that many people play single player that much in Modern anymore, as far as I know. I remember a lot of people just stopped playing single player, and it was all about multiplayer. But there's also an aspect to single player that's really interesting. That was part of the atmosphere of old Minecraft. Now, I find it hard to actually go back to being totally single player and just be like, playing on my own. I don't know what it is, but it's no longer that satisfying. Which I wish I could change in New Frontiercraft, but I honestly don't know. It might be something about just growing up and not really being on your own that much, that you want to be with other people while building. But there was something about single player back in the day, and I wish I could emphasize it again, but I'm not sure how. If you guys have any ideas there, I'd love to hear them. But I mean, with some of the things I'll be adding in the future of New Frontiercraft, having a single-player world might come back into play, because then people aren't messing with your stuff and exploring everything. Because again, in the future of New Frontiercraft, I assure you, the exploration will start to be quite, I don't want to say exaggerated, but really increased, added to. I'm looking for a word and I can't name it. It starts with an E. It might be expounded upon? Expanded upon? I don't know. But it'll be added to quite a lot in the future of New Frontiercraft, the sense of exploration in your world. I mean, already, sort of a piece of that is within the ores I've been adding. You gotta explore a lot more to find these ores. Now, there's probably more of this. I still need to think over this a little bit more, because I just woke up and I started recording this because it's on my mind. But there's definitely more aspects to it that I could keep going on. but I'm going to do it a different time. But the reason why I started talking about the ad and then went into this is because I want to create the new ad sort of saying these things, where I'm building off of the philosophy of old Minecraft to create a new experience in old Minecraft. It might not necessarily be like the old feeling, but it'll be similar to it. But it'll have a new aspect to it, so then you have something new to experience again. And maybe that's the best way to bring back the old feeling. You never know. Now let's actually talk about what's going on in this video. First of all, you might have noticed it's a lot slower than the regular video, and that is because it's only at 1.5 times speed instead of 3 times speed, because I talked a lot. I really wanted to start building the philosophy of old Minecraft and see what you guys thought of it, so I needed to have that video a bit slower to fit all that in. But anyways, in this video, I am going through and I'm trying to find the iron in a concentrated vein area that I found. And this is related to this big discussion I'm having with this guy. Currently, he's having a tough time finding Tier 5, which it is supposed to be a much tougher tier to find after Tier 3 and 4. But the other thing that we talked about was how difficult it is to still find coal, which is a serious issue still. And I'm actually thinking about totally junking concentrated veins and just adding in mega veins in their place, because the concentrated veins are a real pain. I thought they'd be cool because it's like something that's generated close together, but they've been pretty painful so far. Either I'm gonna give them more of a structure to generate by instead of just randomly in an area with a little bit of a difference in what Y value they generate at, because that can also make you have a hard time finding them. But I might change that concentration because coal is still really hard to find, and so is all the other ores that follow that in that same pattern. The iron ores that generate in that pattern, although I could find the one section of iron easily, it took me a while until I found another, and took me another long while until I found another. And it was just kind of annoying. So that might change. Anyways, thank you for listening. Please comment thoughts on this so far. I mean, I can already name a couple other things that I have not mentioned about the philosophy of old Minecraft, but I'll wait until the next video for that.